Welcome to Intro2Astro 2024. Before we start, like all these slides and everything is also present on GitHub, so I'll just quickly open that up. It's present on this link. I'll also link these all things in the Discord channel. But yeah, it's present over here. The week one tutorials are up over here, and you can go over here and you can see all the tutorials that we are going through today. Coming back to Unix. Yep. So Unix is an operating system, first of all. And what is an operating system is something that links the hardware of a computer or your laptop to its software. And this interface between the two. And it was entirely written in the C programming language, which is one of the most fundamental programming language that you will interact with. And it is like used till now because it is really fast for repetitive tasks, and it can be used in a distributed manner. So once you go to like higher computation needs where you are required to work on high performing clusters, you will be required to work on Unix. And Mac OS, as you see, I'm working on a Mac. So this is by default a Unix based system. Going on, what is a Unix shell then? So these are terms that you'll hear more often as you go into the course. So Unix shell is a command line interface as well as a scripting language. So basically saying Unix runs on some commands, and a scripting language combines all these commands into a group of commands that it can like trigger one by one. And this is kind of what the users interact with. So I, as a user, would write a command for Unix to run, that will run on the hardware. And if I write a bunch of commands, that becomes a whole script. And these commands need to be in a particular format, which is called a syntax. So Mac OS's terminal already provides this command line interface, which we can interact with and write our commands on. And Linux also has a Unix-like implementation, so all these commands would also be applicable on Linux. But for Windows, there is a special thing that you will need to do. So Windows does not have a Unix; it's a different OS altogether. For this, you can either install a Git shell or you can install a Linux subsystem for Windows. So all those are linked over here, and I think this is something that you should do because like down the course, we will be using these a lot. And this going forward, like how to do this. So I have like some examples over here, and I can also show you over the command prompt itself. Let me just open one new window. Yep, so this is a command prompt that you'll see. And over here I get the like option to input some commands. So first of all, let me input a command which is called pwd. This tells me the present working directory. That means the folder that I'm working on or the directory that I'm working on. So it prints out like it is I'm working on this particular folder, which is my folder as a user in this computer. So this is a very basic command that I used, and the OS gave me an output. Right. Going back over here. So pwd is this command. If I were to like see how this works and why this whole thing is in such a way, is because the whole Unix structure is in a tree-based structure. And what that means is my whole computer starts with this slash back. This slash means like I'm at the root of my computer or the this tree. All right, then everything going down is a folder or a file, right? That folders are called directories and files are basically files, right? And over here, if you can see like this folder, if I was in this folder, let's say I'm nil, and you can see I was going through this route to this users directory, and then from users directory to my home directory. So this is called a home directory for the user, which is I. So if I were to go back, this is my home directory. It starts with the root, it goes into the first folder, which is the users folder or the directory, and then it goes into my own folder, that is Chetan Chawla. And then if I were to move directories from one directory to another, like if I were to go into the other users directory, or let's say I were to jump back to users directory and do some operations over there or do something over there, like check the files and so on, there are commands for that. And I need to navigate through that. So like how we can move around is by changing our directories. And the command for that is cd. which is used to change the directory. If I were to like write the paths on where I am going from, like the current path, that will take me to that directory so that I can work there. All right. Right. So you can also see, so this basically what I have open is a Jupyter notebook. I'll talk about this in a while, but yeah, this is something that I'm working on Python. And if I'm working on Python, if I write percentage bash, it basically imitates the Unix operating system on my Python notebook, which I'll be talking about in a bit. But yeah, over here you can see I have written a command to move to the home directory. This tilde sign means that I am talking about the home directory. And if I were to like run this command, it says that I am now at the home directory. So if we do not move to our home, our current working directory should be one where this notebook is placed. And there is another command called ls which can list the contents of the current directory. So you see I was in my current folder which was for Intro2Astro 2024, and I see all the files and all the directories that are present in that folder, which you were also seeing in this, yep, over here. So I was in this folder, which is why everything is present over here. Moving forward, so these are some more commands. I won't go into the details because these are all written and you can like go through them one by one. There is an assignment that needs to go through them one by one. But the like short thing about this is I can move from one folder to another folder using this command cd. And this can be on relative paths. I mean, like moving up one directory, going from one directory to other, or you can also write the whole directory path and then you can directly move to that. And these are some more commands that I like tried out. So over here we have pwd, which tells me my current directory. Then this tilde sign was the home directory. So I went to the home directory, and then so on. Again, you can go through this at your own time. I won't go into all the commands one by one, but yeah, this is something that we will see in like later uh, half. And then we have some more commands. So there are listing commands, as I talked about. ls is the command which lists the contents of a directory, like all the files and all the directories in a directory that we are currently in. The ls command lists down all the contents. And then there are some flags also. So flags are basically options or parameters that you pass in Unix. So over here you can see ls hyphen l. This hyphen l is the flag, and this means that in front of this command I am giving it some options on how to show me the data. So if I were to write hyphen l, it will list the directories and files in the current directory in a list format. If I were to write T instead of L, then it will do the same thing, but it will be sorted by the time they were created or modified. So these are kind of options on how I want to see my command work. And I can also combine these commands. So if I were to write ls hyphen lt and like this part, it will show me all the files in a list format and also arrange them by the time they were created or modified. So these are called flags or the options that we have while running our commands in Unix. And you can see like ls hyphen ltrh gave me all my files in a particular list. Moving forward, there are some more commands that we use. So touch and a file name like creates a file. It creates a new file that we can work on. Mkdir creates a new directory. Here, this parenthesis directory means the name of the directory. Rm removes a file, and like be careful while using this command because it can actually remove everything from your MacBook or from your computer. Um, yep, going forward. And similar to this, like once we create a new file, if we need to edit a file, we can also enter an editor, which is also present natively on a Unix system. So you can write Nano or Vim. These are text editors. You can write anything in this like a text file and then save it. And it also has some more complex capabilities such as it can move from one place to another. It can cut and paste things. It can find specific strings in the whole text file and so on. And moving on, like there are some more commands about copying and moving files. So you can copy files, you can move files as you can expect from an OS to do, and there are commands for those as well. And then we can also print to screen. So that means like if I want to write a message in my screen, I'll write a message using echo. So if I were to just write echo, let's say hello participants, this should write just hello participants. So if you all have a Mac or if you all have a Linux, you can try these commands out by yourself, and you'll see like these commands work, how these commands work. I'll just write a few more that we just talked about. So let's do cd, which changes my directory. Like currently if I were to do pwd, this is my current directory. I'm in home. Let me see what all directories are present in my home. So I'll do ls and I'll pass a flag which is to list all the directories. And these are all the directories that I have. I want to move to, let's say, astrophysics. So I'll do cd astrophysics and press enter. That would mean I have moved into astrophysics folder. But how would I know I have moved into astrophysics folder? I can simply write pwd, and this again gives me the current directory, which is astrophysics. So these are some commands that you can try on your own. If you have a Mac or something, you can try it like alongside. But yeah, this is what Unix essentially does, and these are some more commands again. I'll skip these for now. Um, yep. So this is something that we need to talk about. So over here, give me a second. Yep. So over here you can see I have like let me move this on screen. Yeah, I have a percentage sign. So this percentage sign means that I need to input something to the computer or this terminal. And this is called a prompt. It can be a dollar, it's a dollar in a Linux system, it's a percentage over here. Then I write my command, which is like, let's say I wanted to write ls, right? Then I want to write some kind of options, which are the tags. So to enter those options, I either need to enter a hyphen, and then I need to enter whatever my option means. Like I need to list every file in this directory in a list format. So I'll press L, and you can find all these by like typing help over here, and you'll see all these options. This is called an option. And then lastly there is an argument. So if I needed to go into some folder and needed to see some folder, that is an argument. It's kind of a parameter that I pass to the uh, this command. So I want to see everything in this current folder, I'll press dot, and this will again put everything over here. So this is the structure of a whole command that is going on in Unix. All right. Please, like, feel free to put your questions in chat. I think some of the mentors or Faye would answer your questions as they arrive. Moving forward, so if I write a bunch of commands in a sequence, that becomes a script. And this script can be stored in a, let's say, a file, which is a shell file, and then it can be executed like all together. So let's say I write 10 commands in a sequence and I want to trigger them or like run them all together one by one. I can just like trigger that script. And for example, this is useful when we are working on repetitive tasks. So for example, I want to like make a script that finds all the like notebooks, the Jupyter notebooks that I talked about in a current directory by finding its extension. And then it needs to print the names. So it's a kind of a repetitive task. I need to find some files in a folder with a particular extension and then write their names. So I can do this like this, like it's a for loop. A loop is basically to iterate over something over and over. So I find those files with this particular name and then I write their names out in a particular text file, and done. So this is a script. This can be saved in a text file, in a shell file, and it can be run in a sequence one by one. Now you have your assignment. So this is basically all that we need to talk about Unix today. In a very brief, you can go through this tutorial, and then there is this assignment. You'll need to do these statements, and all these commands are already discussed in the previous slides. And you know, once you do this, you can enter like screenshot on Discord. There will be a folder called I think I haven't added, but yeah, I'll add a new folder over here that will have like your assignments and you can post it over there. But yeah, this is the first assignment. You can create a new folder, then you move to that folder and write a hello world to a text file, then display the contents of the text file, make a copy and place the copy in a new subfolder. So these are some commands that you'll find in the previous slides, and some of them we already talked about. Register now on bit.ly/intro2astro 2024.